right, so I was going to do a whole offensive line film study, but my plans kind of got altered because some people I respected a ton looked at one of my shorts where it was like, Jackson's no bueno, and kind of disagreed with what my original evaluation of Jackson was. And to be truthful, I was like, oh man, maybe I didn't see something. So I was going to wait for the all 22, but then I went back because I got OCD to watch the film of Jackson, and I realized I don't really need the all 22. It's going to be abundantly clear what the greatest hits of Austin Jackson were versus the Jaguars. And I do hold to my evaluation, but I'm going to present a good solid amount of video of pretty much every play he was in to show in context how bad he is. I thought Jackson was getting better, but when you see this film, I don't think that a rational person could think that he's doing well. And it was really kind of scary. I thought I was going to see more, and I think it's very, very concerning. Now, guys, when you watch a game, nobody gets it right, seeing everything. You got to go back and really study this film. And, for me, everybody watches film differently. For me, the offense of the Dolphins for the last couple of years has been basically looking at the weakest link on the offense, which has always been the offensive line. And I can determine where we're going to go based on that weak link. So I cannot take my eyes off that. And so that's how I watch Miami Dolphins offense. Now, other people, they're looking at this player, they're looking at Tua, they're looking at that. So it's very hard to come away from a live game and catch it all. Me, because I focus on the eyesore, I think it's why I saw his poor play so quickly, because it's either him or Eichenberg, and Eichenberg wasn't in, so I didn't really get a chance to fixate on that. So anyway, I'm going to get into the film in about 5 minutes, and I think it's going to be pretty clear, but I'll let you make the decision. Here's the film. Let's take a look and see what we see. All right, we're going to open up on a basic play here where Jackson under the red arrow, you see 73, is not going to be an essential part to this play, but I want you to notice a negative trait. He loses leverage, and then he holds right there on the shoulder pad, twisting his guy because he can't maintain control. It can't stick. I want to show Tua here with that quick release. I just want to throw that in. That was a beautiful pass. That release is a huge, huge asset. Now, this one is the missed snap, and you know what? I could point some stuff out negative here, but I'm not going to. He's not really involved in it, so we'll call that a neutral play. Then we're going to come back here. It's a screen play. This is nothing you could really point out against the kid on this one. Now, on this one right here, he deals with Josh Allen, but knows Josh Allen just spins out there. His job was to cover some zone. It was like a zone rush and drop. So that's a neutral play. But watch this one. He gets shuttered by Allen, then beat, and then held and ripped down, or that would have been a pressure or sack. Totally beat, hold, rip down, and save some kind of pressure. But now look at the edge here, and you'll see, watch Jackson. He's hit by the safety right there. The contact drives him back and stalls out the edge. Small safety stalling out and turning Jackson. No good. No good. Jackson comes off here, and you see he gets beat to the edge. This is just a running play, but watch. He gets beat. He holds, and then he turns Allen because he got beat on the edge by speed. That's a bad rep, even though it didn't factor into the play. Now watch this one. You can see, look, he gets hit here. He's a double, and he gets hit. Watch Jackson. He's with a double here. Gets hit, turned around by one guy, two guys on one guy. He gets turned sideways. Then he bounces off, and he does get Allen, which is nice here. And you might see the tail end and say it was a good rep, but that's not what you want to see. You want to see that whole thing get peeled back on a double. Again here, you can see Jackson just get driven back 3 yards behind the line of scrimmage. Red arrow. Oh, I didn't put the red arrow here, but he gets, hit, totally driven back, The outside of the play is shut off, forcing the running back, and then he holds at the end. That's what his third hold maybe so far. I don't know, third, fourth. I don't even remember. So now on this one is the big play. Remember the big chunk yards by Ahmed, but notice what happens. You see Jackson right there. He hits the linebacker, doesn't have strength or hits the wrong angle. Linebacker peels off, and if he had recognized it quicker or had the speed, it took a better angle, that big play would have died. So understand that. Now on this one, nothing really to say. He gets a double, peels back, kind of just, nothing really to say on this one. On this one, his small assignment just shoves the guy out on his quick run inside. Nothing to talk about. Now, on this one, you'll see this is a win for Jackson. There's things I could point out, but I'd be called a hater. So I'm just say he floors Josh Allen. There's some mitigating factors, but we won't deal with that. But he does floor him, so I got to highlight that play. It was a good play for him. Comes back inside. Now, watch the power we talked about, and 255-pound Allen destroys him, drives him almost 5 yards, maybe 3 yards back in behind the line of scrimmage. Just destroyed. I mean, this is destruction. This is this is bad stuff. Now, on this one, you can say, oh, it's a one rep, nothing really here. But watch, let's take a closer look. There's a double, and once a double releases, watch 96, just toss him. Once the double is off, this guy tosses Jackson with one hand. Watch him get thrown back a good foot and a half. That's crazy. Now, on this one, you'll say, well, he had this one as a winning rep, but, it's not his fault. The quarterback went outside. But let's take a closer look at traits. Now, he drops back and watch him caught at an angle. This is a loss. This is not how you want your blocking to look like. He gets a loss here, and then watch him bear hug. He's bear hugging him now, and he still can't maintain control. And then Allen is breaking free on the run. This is terrible, terrible technique and play. All right. I mean, there were, out of all those plays, I could have just opened up and said PFF said this, but people don't like PFF. They rated him pretty low in both pass and run block. But you could see clearly that even if you don't like PFF, their grading system fit what you saw. You saw a big man going against guys about 255, 240 most of the game and getting dominated. The power kept shuddering Jackson over and over again. His inability to attach to defenders and hold them without actually holding them, grabbing them, holding. How many holds were there? 4? And, he had the one victory over Josh Allen, which, he won that rep. But the way he won that, if you go back and look through the techniques, you'll see that there's problems there, and they played out. And that's why early on it was like, oh, he won that rep, or we won that rep, or whatever. But you saw a trait of struggling with power and holding, and then it plays out. So even on good reps, you have to actually analyze the play and see what really happened. What's the technique? What's the traits? How does he respond? Who he's going against? And then that helps you extrapolate and project future performance. It's not 100%, but he's so underwhelming versus power that he is going to be, there's going to be blood in the water come the regular season. He's going to be chum to these top defensive players. They're going to look at him and lick their chops. And I am concerned because maybe you could get away with it if it wasn't such a big hole at left guard. And here is. I could do the same thing for Wynn, what I just showed you. It's not going to be as dramatic, but it's going to be in a similar vein. It was very poor performance. And then if Eichenberg was there, I could definitely do it. And maybe he'd have more hits than Jackson. So, again, this does not mean I'm the bad guy or I'm saying we're doomed or anything like that. It is what it is. I think, maybe you could say I'm wrong. I don't know. But I stand firm by what the film says, and I think it is what it is. I can understand people watching the game live and just like maybe queuing on this or that. because they have a lot more interests. And so I could see that. But when you are a coach of a team and you're seeing that film, I think it's unconscionable. It's almost insane to justify what you're seeing. It's the same thing, though, we've seen with Eichenberg for years. The same thing for both these players. Now, I don't think I'm a guru. I don't think I'm some exceptional football knowledge guy with the film and stuff. I've been doing this for a living for like 8 years, maybe 3 years now on YouTube, and then 5 years before that with Finn's News. So I think I'm above average just because of the amount of time I put in. I think you take a monkey and you train him to hit this, and it works. You do it long enough and he gets pretty decent at it. So it's not about me being exceptional. I do put exceptional amount of work in, and I think that's it. But the pros, Smith and Butch Barry and McDaniel and Greer, it does not make any sense how you could justify Eichenberg. Remember, Greer told us in the offseason, the GM came up to me and said, Eichenberg's not even playing so well for you. I mean, does everyone smoke a peyote? This is going to be a theme that will continue. These will not get fixed this year. They may never get fixed, but they certainly will not get fixed this year. Now, there's ways to mitigate it by play calls, quick passes, extra help, and going away, like giving them the easiest assignment. You could do all that. But there will come a time when he has to man up and be the guy to make the play happen, and it will likely end in what you've seen. This kid's a good kid, and I feel bad about having to give these kind of grades to him. But I'm a yutz on YouTube making peanuts, and I got people giving me hard grades. And so if you're making millions of dollars and it is what it is what it is. So this is what it is. There is no improvement. There is no growth in Jackson. He is what he was last year. We saw briefly. Maybe a little bit better than year one, but guys, the susceptibility to power that he has, I just keep thinking about Keon White, what he's going to do to him. Keon White is almost 290 and a beast. He's going to take this guy like a rag doll and just boom, 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 out of the way. He's like Bam Bam, So guys, it is what it is. I think Glenn would be a better fit than Jackson, but we'll see how it goes. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed. I'm sorry I got to be the boogeyman as usual. But I have to disagree with the gents that disagree with me. I think the film, though, does support me. Doesn't mean I'm going to be right all the time. I'm not. I get screwed up all the time. These guys know more about football than me. But in this, I was right. Anyway, guys, catch you next time. Be well. Go Fins. Start building your own online sportsbook today by getting signed up with aceperhead.com service that'll allow you to book action on sports from all around the world.